Today we're going to be creating an events calendar, and I have done one of these videos in the past with ACF. You can watch that video here, but that was a little bit simplistic, and I have the feeling that is not that reliable necessarily. So we're going to be building this new events calendar with a paid plugin. You will make your own decision if you want to get the plugin or not at the end of the video or in the future, but I'm giving you the option to explore it and see what you can do with it. And why I'm using a paid plugin or a plugin in general to do this kind of event calendar is because it's, I have the feeling, more reliable, as I said earlier, and you have more control over how you show your events on a page. So in this case, we're going to be showing upcoming events, so future events, and we're going to have the option to show current events, today's events, basically. So let's get into it. All right, so this is the plugin I'm talking about. It's called Dynamic Content for Elementor, and it comes bundled up with dynamic shortcodes. And if you know what the shortcodes in Elementor do, this is a little bit on steroids. You can add a different kind of format for your shortcodes to generate data. Okay, we're going to look at this during our example. For now, let's go to learn more, and I'm sure you want to know how much this costs first of all. So let's go to get it now, and these are the plans. Okay, as I said, it starts at €69 per year. I think it's a fair price if you break it down by month, by week, however you want to break it down, right? And it's for one site. So if you go to enterprise, you can see that the jump is quite big from one site to 1,000 sites for this price. Honestly, I think it's an amazing deal, but you can make your own opinion about this further down the line, right? So let's go back to check it out. So it integrates with advanced custom fields, which we are going to work with, but also with the free version, which we're going to be working with. Pro as well, Elementor Free and Pro, Jet Engine, Metabox, Pods, Search and Filter Pro, Toolset, WooCommerce, WPML. So you can also create calendars, which we are going to be doing, which is amazing for. And that's the only thing that we're going to be doing this time. But there's more to it. And I will leave a link in the description below to check this page out, and you will see how many things you can do with this, right? There's so much more to it. Maybe we will have a look at another example in the future if you're interested in something like that, something that you have been trying to achieve with a plugin or just ACF and it's not working out. Anyway, let's get into the example. All right, so for the purposes of this video and for the creation of this events calendar, we need to install ACF. So I'm not going to install it. I already have it installed. Let me go to plugins and let me show you how it looks. Excuse my non-updated plugins, but that's not what the focus is here. So you have to install this plugin. If you're not familiar with it, just search it the way it is and you will find it, okay? And it will appear here on the left hand side of your dashboard. So we need to go to create a post type first, okay? So I'm gonna call it obviously events, so you know what you are dealing with here. So let's say events and then event. I'm gonna copy and paste it and just remove the S at the end. And this is the post type key. And that is it for now. And I'm gonna save the changes and let's proceed to add fields to this post type. Okay, so in these fields, we're going to have the date, the location of the event, a poster, like an image for the event, and the date. These are the most important parts, obviously. And of course, a link where you can purchase the tickets for the event, or maybe just see more information about it. That's up to you how you decide to build it. Okay, so we are gonna go add new, and we're gonna call this event fields. Yeah, and I'm gonna go and add the first field, and this is going to be field type text, and we're gonna call this event title. And just simply click on this one and it's gonna out of fill. If you want to name it something else, please do so, but I'm going to keep it the way it is. And we're gonna continue building our fields. I'm gonna add another one, and this is going to be event date. And for this, we're gonna choose a date picker. So just type in date picker, and I'm gonna call this event date, right? Click again, and this one is ready as well. Let's add a new field, and we're gonna look to add an event location. And again, this is going to be a text field. we just say event location and click there. And that is done. And if you want to skip over this and if you already know how to build this, please do so, but just stick around for a little bit longer. This one is going to be, let me just first write the label. So this is an event link. And for that, I'm going to choose an URL as the field type. And again, close this, add another one. And this is going to be the event price. And this field type is going to be a number. Look for number and say event price. All right, click and close. Add another one. And this time we're going to add a conditional field. So this is going to be true or false. True or false, yeah, and we're gonna call it is paid event because it can be paid or free, so you have the choice to go with either one of them. All right, so we're gonna add another label in here and field, and this is going to be a map location. And this is very easy to do, but it's also very complicated, and we're gonna go over this, but just give me a moment here. Let me just add the Google map. So click here, choose field Google map. Yeah, and mind you, this is still a free option in ACF. So everything I'm doing here is ACF free. Yeah, so say map location. All right, so I'm gonna close this. And we're pretty much done. I'm gonna save the changes and let me just go here. So now let's go down here to settings. So this is a post type and it's equal to events. Yeah, we have created the events field group. So we're going to add this to the events, save changes, and the settings in ACF are done. Now we have to go and create our single post type in Elementor in the theme builder, and then we're gonna generate this on the front end. All right, before we start adding our events, we need to add the two plugins that I'm talking about. Actually, it's one, but it comes with an extra plugin. So you are basically getting two plugins in one. All right, so I'm gonna go to plugins and I'm gonna go to add new plugin and upload plugin. So we're gonna add the dynamic content for Elementor. Gonna install it and it's gonna appear here on the left hand side of your dashboard. Okay, activate plugin, and you have to go through the process to activate your plugin, add your license key and everything else. Okay, so let's go back to plugins because I want to add another plugin. Upload the plugin as we did with the previous one and install. So this is dynamic shortcode, so it's like a shortcode widget like the one that we use in Elementor. Okay, so we need to activate it and save our key and all that and everything that you would do with a plugin. Yeah, so I'm gonna add my key, activate, and go through the same process on the dynamic content. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to activate it and I'm gonna add my license key and voila, now they're both active and we are ready to work with them. All right, so let's go to dynamic content for Elementor. Let's go to see all the features. They have so many extensions and dynamic tags and page settings and so much more, but we're gonna just focus on our events calendar today. Okay, yeah, so I did not do anything here. I'm not gonna do anything here. Everything is pretty much active. If you don't want to have everything activated, you can deactivate them and then activate them one by one, the ones that you want in terms of widgets, in terms of extensions, and so on and so forth. Okay, and if we go to dynamic shortcodes, you can enable this whatever you want. I'm gonna turn on the post title, post content, and post excerpt. So save the settings and we are all set. All right, I'm gonna leave this on because we don't want to hide errors. In case there are errors, we want to fix them. And I'm not gonna focus too much on this because it's a little bit too detailed and probably you're not gonna need it, at least for the creation of this events calendar. If in the future we want to pursue this further, if you want to see more videos on this plugin, then we are gonna look into it. Okay, all right, so you have seen that I have added in ACF, I have added a field for the map. So the events that we have in the calendar will be shown on a map, on a Google map. And for that, we need to go to integrations in dynamic content for Elementor, go to integrations, and you will need to add your Google Maps API key here, okay? I'm not going to take you through these steps, how to get the Google Map API key. This is what you will need to set up if you want to have this events shown on a map. So this is something that you have to do yourself because my key is my key. So I cannot give it to you. And I don't want to go into my Google Cloud Console to show you, but I will leave a link to this right here and it will show you how to do it, all right? Anyway, so let's get into it. I'm gonna go and add my key and then we can proceed with the next steps. All right, so I have added my API key, so I'm gonna save the integration and now we can go in and work on in the Elementor editor. I'm gonna also set this API also in ACF configuration, yeah, because it connects with ACF, so it's very important, all right? I'm gonna save the integration and it should be okay, all right? So let's go first of all to create our single post template. And if you know what that is, good. So this will actually give the design of our events and how they will look on the events page. So let me go to templates, go to theme builder, yeah, and I'm gonna go to single post. So we're gonna create a single post here. I'm gonna call it something related to events to make sure that we know what we are doing here. I'm gonna skip this. Let's go to rename it event. Oopsies. Events single post. Okay, all right, publish. And we are going to add the conditions on the event. So I'm going to look for events here and it's going to be set for all. All right, because we want this template to take effect on all the events. All right, okay, so that is done. Let me just set the background to black as well here. So I'm going to start by adding a container. Yeah, I'm gonna look for a container, gonna drop it in here, and I'm gonna just leave it the way it is. I'm just gonna set the content justify center, and that's about it. All right, so in this container, I'm gonna add a bunch of widgets. So I'm gonna look for the featured image. This one is from Elementor. Yeah, it's a widget from Elementor. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to style, and I'm gonna set the width and the max width to 100%, as well as the height to percentage as well. All right, set it to cover, center, center. And this is it. I'm not gonna add anything else here. I'm gonna add a bunch of headings. Yeah, I like to work with headings. You can work with whatever you want. We can even work with a text editor if you want, but I find the text heading much better. All right, so we're gonna use dynamic tags here. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and look for ACF field, and guess what, this is going to be the title of our event, right? Event title. And I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna do this until we're set with all our ACF fields, okay? But some of them will be a little bit special. For example, the next one that I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm just going to choose here dynamic shortcodes, dynamic shortcodes, yeah? And I'm gonna add a shortcode here because this is very important. This is going to be a true or false statement in terms of, as you remember, in the ACF fields, I had the price of the event to be it is paid or free, right? So this shortcode will work this way. So if we input in the events that this event is for free, it will show that it is a free event, as it says right now. If it's paid, it's going to show you the price of the event. Yeah. All right. So as you can see, we have here the currency in the shortcode. So if you want a different currency, this is where you would replace this. Okay. If this is a free event, of course, the currency will not show, which is great. I'm going to duplicate the first one because this is going to be an ACF field, and I'm going to look for the event date. Yeah. All right. We don't have any events. We're going to create them in a bit, but I want to set this first. So now we have another dynamic shortcode field, and I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to add my shortcode. So let's drop it in here. this shortcode is going to be showing us the date of the event. Either it's today or in the future, right? Okay, so let's continue. We have one more to add, and this is going to be another dynamic shortcode, yes. I'm going to duplicate this one that we have here, and I'm gonna add my shortcode, and this is going to show us our location. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna publish, and I'm not going to change the tags here. I know that is not the best. You can have this set to P's if you want, whatever you want. We're focusing on displaying data, and that's it mostly. All right, I'm going to simply kind of give these elements, these headings, some life because they look not very well right now, and it's going to ruin the look of our example. So let's go to style. I'm gonna style this. I'm gonna just leave it the way it is, roboto, and say okay. That is okay. And this is going to be, let's go to change this to be a man rope 1.5, and let me just copy and set the same style. Paste style, paste style, paste style, and paste style. And we will see if we want to change anything else. Actually, you know what I want to change? I want to change the colors. So this is an ugly blue. I'm going to set this to be a neon, and the rest are going to be dusty blue. Okay, so I'm going to go through the same process of setting the style again. Don't be like me, do it from the beginning. All right, so I think that's it. Okay, so I think I need to add another element. Actually, I'm going to add a button in here. Yeah, and this button is going to have a link of ACF, yeah, URL field. ACF URL field, because you can set a link to lead to the event page. Maybe you can create an event page where you have more details about the event, more than what it is on the event page, event display page, where you have all the events displayed. Yeah, we're gonna go through that in a bit, but for now, let's set this up. So if I go to the wrench, we can set up the event link right here. And that's it. We can even make this better, actually. Right now, it has not a very nice design. This is going to be a fun color. It's going to be a dusty blue. So I'm going to publish. And for now, this is it. All right. And we're going to come back to this if we need to. All right, let's go and create some events, because there's nothing more depressing than having this situation here. All right, so I'm gonna go to my events. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my dashboard, and I'm gonna go to add some events here. So we need to add some events taking place today. So today is the 14th of May. So this is today event. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna set it here as well. Event date. Today is, as I said, 14th, and the event location, we're gonna set it here, but let's go to event link. So I'm gonna just add a random link here. Yeah, just gonna remove this, and that's it. Event price, as we said before, if you want to have this event to be free, then you don't set anything and it's going to say for free. If you want to have this event to be paid, I'm gonna set this to be paid. I'm gonna set it to paid, check this box, and say 150 euro, okay? Just set the amount and the currency is already set for you. All right, so I'm gonna look for Vienna. I'm gonna set this to Vienna. And as you can see, the event appears marked on the map. So I'm gonna set this here, and this will show on the front end under location. So we need to set the featured image here. I have a few images, some random, some weird random. I'm gonna just set some don't really relate to an event, okay? Okay, so the first event is set, and we can go and create some more events. I'm gonna create a few more, and future event. All right, future event. Date, let's say, maybe you want it to be in August 29th, very random. And let's go and look for some other locations in Vienna. So this is a cool place. I like it. I'm gonna set it to here as well, and I will not add a link this time. It's fine. I'm gonna leave this empty, yeah, and this is going to be a free event. And then let's add some images here. What do we have? I'm gonna add this one. All right, let's continue adding some more events because I want to have more events so we can see them better on the list of events. So I'm gonna add, this is going to be two, very descriptive, yeah. September 3rd, very common, yeah. Danube, Vienna, wait, so location here, Vienna. All right, this is interesting. Event link, again, I'm not gonna set it. I'm gonna have a price here. It's gonna be 250 euro and it's a paid event. And let's set our image, this one, oops, publish, and yeah, let's add another event. Let's have at least 4 events there, including today's event, yeah. So oops, no, I don't want this. Future event, wait, oops, future, oh my gosh, future, copy and paste. Title, event date, let's go with October 18th, very random. Let's say, what else we have in Vienna, let's go to CC Museum. All right, copy this and drop it into here. This one is going to be a free event. Oops, no, it's a free event. I'm gonna leave it as free. All these images, let's see, do we have anything else? Okay, I'm gonna set this as well, and maybe we add another event in the future. Okay, I mean after. All right, I think we are set so far. Now we need to go in Elementor and let's create a page. I'm gonna go and add a new page, and this is going to be the page where we display our events. Yeah, let's add it with Elementor, and this is where the magic happens. Let me just go and set the background of this page to black as well. All right, publish. So let's add a container. Boom, there you go. And I'm just gonna set this to full width and justify content center. I am also going to set the gaps to 50 and the width of this container to 85. Of course, you can set it however you want. That is entirely up to you. So I'm gonna drop a heading in here, all right? And this are going to be upcoming events. And we're gonna have another one of these sections. We're gonna have today's events. Yeah, it's best to have them organized this way, I think. So let's go and look for dynamic posts. Yeah, so we have dynamic posts. I'm gonna drop it in here. And okay, we already have some things coming in, but we don't want this. We have some options to choose between grids or other skins from here, but we're gonna focus on grids. Okay, first of all, this is the default style, but we want to go with Elementor templates. Yeah, so I'm gonna look for my Elementor template, event single post. As you remember, this is what we created. As you can see, they are here, right? And we need to do some things because as you can see, they look like they are the same event. So we need to do some magic here. Okay, first of all, we're gonna set the pagination to yes, because we will have more events. I like to have it infinite scroll, and we're gonna go in styles and we're gonna see what this means. But for now, this is good. So I'm gonna go to grids. And I'm gonna set this to be 3. We just want 3 events, 3 columns of events. And I'm gonna match height, and I'm gonna match height by row as well. And of course, these are personal preferences. You can set it however you want. Let's go to infinite scroll. And we want to have a trigger that says on click button. You can have it as on scroll page. As you scroll, the page loads all the events. Yeah, you can have this set up like this, or just give the option to see more events if you want. That's entirely up to you, as I said earlier. And you need to have this enabled as a status, otherwise it's not going to show either one of them. All right, so this is where the actual magic happens. Okay, so we're going to leave this as a post type. You can choose from all this, but I have not tested this with any of these other options as query type. And we're going to go and look for the post type that is events. Yeah, and as you can see, our events kind of show here, right? Let's publish. And as I said earlier, as you can see, they show free events, the price, if it's priced, the date, and so on and so forth. All right, and the location, of course, and where you can buy the tickets if you want to buy tickets. Anyway, we're gonna go through this in a moment, but there's still more to do here, okay? We're gonna just turn this off because we don't need it. We turn off this one as well, and let's set this to be 3 per page. Yeah, results per page. We only want 3, and then if you want more, you can click and you can see more. Let me just set this to be to have a Z index of 9,999 because I have this footer that is kind of in the way. So let's go back to our dynamic posts. Let me just go all the way to query again, and we're going to order by meta value, and it's going to be a meta type of data. Yeah, we're going to pull the data, and we are going to order this by ascending. Yeah, so we are starting with the events that are going to be showing from today, including today, obviously, and future events as it shows here. We're going to have a look over the front end in a bit, but I want to set first this because these are very important. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go to query filter right here, and I'm going to set this to query by date. Yeah, and the filter is going to be future. And we have more to set here. We have to choose the meta field which is going to be event date and date picker. And here we are again. And I'm going to publish this. And let's go to the preview and let's see what we have achieved. So the images have different sizes, that's why they look so funny, but it doesn't matter, that is not the point of this video. Let's see what else we have. More events, yeah. As you can see, they are organized by date, starting with the most current and going to the most in the future event, all right? So as you can see, the events that we have set to be free have a free entry. You can set this however you want, you can call it whatever you want, but this is the most common, right? And then the ones that are paid, say price, whatever the price is. And the ones that have a link will take you to the link, right? And of course, you can set this in the template to open in a new page, and it's best that it's set as such. So let's go back to our events. All right, so what are we missing here? I think we're missing the Google Maps. So I'm gonna go and look for it, and it's called Dynamic Google Maps. Yeah, drop it in here, and I am going to select the ACF Google Map field. Let's see if it works, and I'm gonna go and look for map location. This is the field, the ACF field that we have added in ACF. And let's go to multiple location query, turn this on, and we are going to set this to events. And ta-da! We have the events on the map. And I'm gonna set this to prevent marker overlapping, so you can see all the locations as they're spread on. And you can see here what it means. Okay, let's go to controlling. I'm gonna set this all to be on. Of course, the settings are up to you, yeah? Map type, let's go to map type. And we want a hybrid. As you can see, there's more information here, but we're going to go with hybrid. Yeah. And let me just close this because this is not important. You can go through this if you want, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to keep it short. Okay, so the marker, you can select an image. You can add your own image as a marker. As you can see, this is a marker, and you can add whatever you want. You can customize it, in other words. Yeah. And I'm going to go to controls, and they're all set to yes. We can leave them like that. And then if you go to source, select the date source, same, it's on. Yeah, I'm gonna publish. Let's go to style, and I'm gonna set this to be 700. And now you can see the whole thing. Yeah, and if you zoom in, you can see where the events are located on the map. How cool is this? And you can do so much more with this, but we're gonna keep it as short as this. And as I said, you can explore it further if you want. Let me go to see, to have a preview of the changes. Yeah. So upcoming events, as we scroll, you can see them on the map. If you click on them, you can see what event we're talking about, and you can read more. So if you, I'm sure this is the setting in the maps, you can read more, and it takes you to page about the event. So you can make it your own. Yeah. All right, let's have another look. I think this is pretty cool. And if you want this to be, as you scroll on the page, the events load, you can do that. Let's just do that, because I think for the purpose of this video is, oh, where am I going? To infinite scroll, and let's have this on scroll page. And you can have this set to ellipse as it is, or have some title or text, whatever you want to call it. You can set something here, but I like the ellipse, and we can publish. Let me just change the color of this text because it's not very nice. That's better. Anyway, let's have a look. All right. Okay. Upcoming events, and we're scrolling, and as you scroll they appear, and then you have end of content, whatever, you can name this whatever you want, and then you have the events on the map. I think this is really cool. I really like this. And of course, as I said, you can customize this however you want. Of course there are limitations, but you can go as deep as possible. All right, so I'm gonna duplicate this, and I'm gonna call this today's events. Yeah, today's events. Oops. And I'm gonna drag it. Actually, I'm gonna keep it here. This will be the upcoming events. So duplicate this one, and I'm gonna drag it here. Yeah. So here we are going to only display today's events, and it's going to be only one event. This is the event that should show here. So let's go to, everything is the same, remains the same, but the only thing that changes is here under query filter. Yeah, we leave everything the same, but we go to choose today, and we set the field to be post meta, and we are going to go and set the meta field to be again a dynamic shortcode. Yeah, dynamic shortcode. And we're going to set the meta field to be event date picker. Gonna publish this. This is going to be pretty cool if you want to show only today's events. So today's events, this is today, and then upcoming events, future events, including today's event. All right, so I'm back in the template, the single post template, and I don't want to show this anywhere. So if you go to have a preview, you see that you have this show here, and it creates some space in between the elements on the template, where, for example, this is not a today's event, so therefore the today word does not show, and it's the same everywhere where the date is in the future and not today. Okay, so it's not really nice, and actually we don't really need it in this case. So for that, you can simply go to visibility, here, turn this on, and start removing some of this, and that's it. Publish, and you will see that it does not show up. So today it's present here and here. Yeah, if I refresh this, it is not anymore. We don't need it because we already have today's event. This is today's event. Yeah, and that's it. And if you want to add the time of the event as well, which is something that it's normal to do, you can go to the event date, go to edit, and instead of just having the date picker, you set date time picker. Okay, save changes. I already did that before, and go to events, go to the events that you have, and set the time there. So this is going to be PM. Yeah, save, and let's do another one. This one is going to be 9 a.m. All right, I'm not going to do all the rest, but let's just have a look to see if any changes have happened. So, all right, let's see. This one, 9 a.m. and 12 a.m. This we did not change. And this one, it's 12 p.m. So that's possible, right? And I think it makes sense to add the time as well. All right, so yeah, there's so much more you can do, but this is just an idea of how you can work this out and how you can display events on your page without having to worry that the events will be messed up and that they're not going to show future events. Yeah. And of course, this will update as time goes by. So for example, this event will disappear. Yeah. And there will be nothing unless you have something on the respective date. So for example, this tomorrow will not be available here, although you have it in the back end. Yeah, it's a past event, so you're not going to show only future events. As the time progresses and as the events come and go, they will come and go from your website. Yeah, and I think that is really cool. And that is something that in my previous example was not possible. You could semi-dynamically do that as you input them, but the page would not update. So as the events were ending, they would still be on the page. But this way, you have the events updating, and this is the benefit of it. And now you can arrange them however you want on the page. I'm sure you can add other things to the events if you want. So let me know in the comments below if this was clear. If you have questions, and I will have a breakdown of all the dynamic shortcodes that I've used, so you know what to use and where to use it. And if it's still not clear, you can pause the video where I have used certain codes, certain shortcodes, and you can compare with my list. I hope that was clear. If you have gotten any value out of this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.